Episode 43, live recorded demo run through with Ezra Levine, CEO of Mascot. Hi, Card Fam. It's me, Denny, and this bonus episode is unlike any other up to this point. Some of you may like it and find it interesting, and some of you may completely despise it. And I totally understand because it's something totally different. But this is me trying to bake in that experimentation and unpredictability that I mentioned in last episode. And so, yeah, this is my first bonus episode. Welcome. Welcome to episode 43. Uh yeah, so if you would allow me to please explain, but before I do, I want to make it very clear up front that this is not by any means a sponsored episode. But I will be talking about Mascot, but I have no affiliation or interest with the company, and Ezra Levine, except for what I am about to explain. So here it goes. Okay, so in the evening of September 27th, I was on the Let Me Get That Potograph podcast hosted by Drew and Scott, and it was their 200th episode. And in case they're listening, heck, even if they're not, I just want to say congratulations to them on such a big milestone. I would love to talk also more about which podcasts I really enjoy listening to, but I'll save that for a later day. But yeah, no, I really like their podcast, their structure, their format, especially their information and the sourcing. It's clear that they put a lot of research into it. Whereas here, I'm just kind of like trying to sail this pirate ship, I guess. But so here's the thing. Why do I bring up that guest appearance, right? In addition to those two hosts, Drew and Scott, the other two speakers, they were guests like me. So I was the third guest. There were two others, two prominent gentlemen in the hobby. Mr. Hackler from Panini, who kept telling me after the recording, he was like, "Can you please stop calling me Mr. Hackler?" So I will. I'll just say Tracy. I don't know if you're listening to this, but hi Tracy. But I just hold him in such high regard. I remember that name, his name back in, the early Panini days, and like when I was collecting from 2007 to 2012. I was like, I see this name. I see him in the blowout card forums and being discussed about and just all this stuff. So I was just, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy, like, that's a big name. And then the second guest, and not that I don't hold Ezra Levine in high regard, but I didn't keep calling Ezra Mr. Levine. I mean, probably because he looks younger than me. But I digress. So I'm on this commemorative podcast episode with some truly heavy hitters in the hobby. I didn't remember Ezra from Collectible. I heard about it and I heard about the many ventures, like the exciting things that he's tried to do for the hobby and just push, advance, and innovate and go forward. And man, I mean, I just kept thinking, I really did, like as we're recording, and I sometimes get this out of body experience or feeling, but I kept thinking, especially in that one, because I'm looking at the screen and I'm looking at these names and I'm like, Tracy Hackler, Ezra Levine. And I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Like, what am I doing on this podcast recording? And I will very much admit that there was some imposter syndrome, not some, like a lot of imposter syndrome was going through my mind. And that actually happens a lot in the hobby, to be honest. Like, I feel like this past year has just been such a whirlwind and just an awesome one at that. Just a complete uh, I don't even know what words to use here. I'm rarely speechless like that, but I'm in that recording and I'm contributing, but more importantly, I'm listening. I'm listening to these other folks, and I just really absolutely enjoyed that recording. So thank you for the invite, Drew and Scott. I'll just give another shout out. Let me get that potograph. Not an official sponsor. I don't even know if podcasts sponsor each other. That'd be an interesting concept, I think. But here's the thing. I would love to have Tracy on this podcast in the near future. But today, this episode is about Ezra. Okay, so this is not a typical podcast episode, at least for me. It's not a podcast interview. Like I said, this is a bonus episode. This is very experimental. Okay, so Ezra, as many of you or some of you may know, he's the CEO of Mascot, and their social media handle, again, the one I use the most is Instagram, is at with Mascot. And so I've heard about this company on social media, how it's about how it's for selling online on multiple platforms at one time, how it's for inventory management, and when I was DMing with that account, just curious about this website or company, I, it was either Ezra or someone else, but they were like, we can set you up with a free demo on how to use the application, how to use the website. I mean, not a phone app, but application, the web application. So here's the thing. I'm thinking, oh wow, this is so cool. Like they think I'm some influencer, some person who gets to have this special free demo, and that, wow, man, like, I made it, or this is so cool, and they're impressed by me. Then I later find out that this free demo is for anyone who schedules one. Okay, so then I'm like, man, like I'm not so special. But here's the thing. Ezra took the time out of his busy day to be the one doing the demo with me. And I gotta say, like, there's just something about leaders and CEOs of companies, both in and out of the hobby, but, just people who have these big titles. It really impresses me and it appeals to me a lot when they are very boots on the ground, hands on, and just, are willing to get their hands dirty. And, like the CEO who's willing to pick up the broom of a janitor and, sweep the floor. I think, you know, um, I mean, how do I explain it? Like, it's almost like because of my, I don't know, my work in the federal government, where there is really just so much bureaucracy and red tape and just so much, I don't know, just so many layers of like, management and all that, that I think I just like companies. I really admire companies where the CEO doesn't mind also being, like, again, the example of a janitor, because in the end, I truly believe that we all matter and that we all have something to contribute. And you know nothing against companies who do have hierarchies and all that, but I don't know, sometimes I get this feeling like it's like this ivory tower. So the people who run companies who also do a lot of things that they are asked their employees to do, I think that's really awesome. So having said all that, I did not realize that Ezra was going to be doing the demo when I scheduled the demo, the run through with how to use Mascot. So when I saw Ezra on my laptop screen, with the scheduled demo, and we're about to start, I was just like, "What?" I just got my phone out and I just started recording the screen and the audio. So I took about 30 minutes of audio or video and audio on my phone, and then I uploaded that to YouTube, of course, with Ezra's permission and blessing. And so now in podcast form or audio form, I'm sharing that audio with you here. So I will very much admit this is not optimized for audio. You may find this frustrating to listen to because you may feel like you need the video companion, and I totally get it. And if that's the case, you can find this episode on YouTube, and Spotify does allow me to provide a clickable link, but Apple Podcast does not allow that. I mean, you can see the URL, and I think you can maybe select it and copy and paste it if you're reading this podcast episode's description, show link. So please do that if you would like to. If you just want to have this on the background and do something completely uh, you know, intensive, not brain intensive, mind intensive, something that requires a lot of brain power. Oh my gosh, I am not gonna. I I've come too far. I cannot edit this out. But I think you know what I mean. If you're doing something and you just want this in the background, then just run it. But if you feel like you want to try to learn follow along, I hope I did a decent job of recording the screen with my phone. It wasn't like a screen record. It was kind of like recording with my phone with the laptop in front of me. So, again, this is not planned. I had no clue Ezra would be doing the demo for me or with me. This is not paid content creation. Mascot is not a sponsor. I do plan on talking about taking on a sponsor, but it's not Mascot. You know, I'm already 10 minutes into this. Let me just say, I just hope that you like listening to this or like watching it, if that's what you end up doing on YouTube. But I hope that it inspires you for you, the listener specifically, to maybe set up a free scheduled demo with Mascot. Maybe you get Ezra, maybe you don't. I have no clue. But I just find it to be another potential platform to help you sell cards and see if it does. I don't know. I haven't really used it. Like, I mean, since the call or since the demo, which happened a week prior, or yeah, I think a week prior. But I've been trying to get my cards up online to sell more, and I'm trying to get into that selling mentality and try to use my selling, not use, but flex my selling muscles after a long time of I guess like atrophy. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I don't know. It's free, so that's all. And I think Ezra does talk about how it's free or why it's free for us consumers. But give it a shot or not. I don't have a promo code. I'm not asking. I'm not getting anything from out of this. I just thought, here I am on a podcast with Tracy and Ezra. I would love to do something with Tracy. This is, I guess, what I did with Ezra, but I had no clue that he was going to be the one doing it. I thought it was really cool. And so I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this very intentionally experimental episode. And please let me know. I mean, a lot of you do hit me up on DMs on Instagram, but let me know if you like it and also let me know if you don't. So thank you very much. And here we go. Thank you for having me, the CEO of Mascot. This is like, I'm just recording this to see if I'm going to make it into like a mini, even like a podcast episode, just kind of walking through with Mascot. Not a sponsor, not, no affiliation other than, honestly, like as a consumer, as someone who's trying to sell more cards online, I heard a lot about it on Instagram, and I wanted to figure out a way to make the selling process a lot more streamlined and easier for me. So I've done eBay selling. I've put some other cards up on different marketplaces, but I haven't really, time is precious. And sometimes I just don't, I feel like it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes.
Awesome. Yeah, well, look, we very much appreciate your time. Obviously, I'll caveat this by saying my voice is a little raw today too, so we're both battling voice issues today. But yeah, look, I mean, we built Mascot exactly for this, right? It's a big time saver. A lot of people want the most eyeballs on the products when they're selling across multiple platforms. A lot of people are already using multiple platforms or creating individual listings across multiple platforms. What Mascot does is it aggregates it for you. It streamlines it for you. No longer do you have to create individual listings on multiple platforms. For the platforms that Mascot is integrated, you create one Mascot listing, and you could choose which marketplaces you want to sell onto. When you integrate your accounts, one of the biggest features and biggest selling points of Mascot is if it sells on eBay, for instance, but you still have a My Slabs listing up, Mascot will automatically pull down any other listings you have. So it's a really great tool to save you time and to reduce the pain points of omni-channel selling, which is, hey, look, shoot, it's sold on eBay. It's 11 o'clock at night. I can't find my laptop, or I can't be by a computer, right? You don't have to do that anymore. You just need to create a Mascot listing, and Mascot will take care of the rest. The product, again, as we've discussed, is completely free for users. Next question, obviously, is, well, how can you afford to do that? How can you afford to give away a free service in the hobby? Nothing in the hobby is free. There's, sort of always catch 2022. The reason is because we've created commercial arrangements with the marketplaces in many cases, so that when an item sells on a marketplace, typically we are getting a commission of the marketplace fees, not from the users. So obviously we're incentivized to get as many people on the platform. We genuinely think it's a great platform. We wouldn't be selling it and promoting it as hard as we do and are if we didn't think it was great. We have a lot of users using it. Over almost 100,000 items have been synced. almost 100,000 listings have been created. We've done tens of thousands of completed transactions through Mascot. So this is a tried and tested and true software. And, we're also creating a lot of partnerships. It seems like almost every day we're announcing a new partnership, which is great. So we're going to be working with a whole host of marketplaces. We have trade show deals, the whole bit. So excited to show it to you, and I hope that I can convince you to actually start using the product after this call.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did want to ask you, so omni-channel, I love the use of that. That's a very fancy term. What are the different channels other than eBay?
Yep. So there's two things going on. One is our ability to kind of strike up these partnerships, which candidly is the easiest part for us. And then the other is the actual integration of these platforms. Obviously, each marketplace is built uniquely. They all have their own kind of specifications and customizations required. So we have 3 of them that are live and about 7 that are in the process of being integrated. The ones that are live are eBay, MySlabs, and Shopify. Shopify is important because a lot of the hobby shops we've spoken to are using their own kind of website powered by Shopify. So it allows a lot of these hobby shops to have items on eBay and MySlabs, but also keep it in sync with their own internal website, which is obviously very important. The ones that are coming are, let's say, whole host. We have a partnership with TikTok Shop, which is coming, with Amazon, with Veriswap, with My Card Post, with Comic Connect, and there's probably 3 or 4 other ones that I can't really discuss yet, but that they're also coming as well.
Oh man, are those, is that public available information, or did you just kind of like debut something just now?
The ones that I named it's all been public, it's all been announced.
Awesome.
We're excited. But look, our goal is to try to get as many marketplaces up on Mascot as possible. We really think this is a big time saver for people. We think this is going to reduce a lot of the frictions. Personally, I think friction is the biggest word in this industry. Everyone wants how do we 10x? Well, in our opinion, 10xing it really needs, you can only 10x something when you can really kind of create a great customer experience. And I think reducing some of these pain points when it comes to the selling aspect's important. We just announced last week a deal with CGC, and I think it's a big one because it also speaks to how grading companies are thinking about reducing friction. Right? There's very captivating data, which is almost 80% of items that get graded and authenticated per year wind up on some secondary market channel within 1 year. So 8 out of 10 items graded typically are graded for the purpose of maximizing resale value. And so companies are thinking about how do we kind of create the best experience of, okay, yes, it needs to be authenticated, it needs to be graded to maximize value, but then what? Right? Do you ship it back to them, then wait, and then you got to create a listing, and there's a lot of time lag. So really what Mascot's trying to do is reduce frictions, reduce time lags, and maximize eyeballs for the items you do want to sell.
Awesome. So I did want to ask, when it comes to hobby shops and their own websites, I mean, does this mean that you can also post up sealed wax to sell, or is it just singles and lots?
Sealed wax is coming very soon. So, in conversations with a lot of various collectors and hobby shops, candidly, one thing I think Mascot it's great for dealers, it's great for collectors, for hobby shops in particular. Mascot at this point in time was October 2nd. So I'll put a timestamp on it.
Yep.
October 2nd, it's a bit of an incomplete solution for hobby shops because we do not support wax yet. You can sort of trick the system and get wax up and running and listed, but it's not an elegant solution. So we're fast and furiously building out wax. Hope to have that out. I hate to put timestamps on things as well, when it comes to a product engineering standpoint, but we are actively working on integrating wax and all that means integrated.
Awesome. So I am not a hobby shop. I don't even know why I asked that question. I guess I was just kind of like intellectually curious about it. But, little curious George monkey here. I will say that I am a consumer individual. I've sold some before in the past. I've kind of stopped because, to just create content, have more fun and get creative in the hobby. But yeah, I mean, like I said, October 2nd, I know there is no shutdown. I know people are so tired of me talking about it, but that was like a real, financial impact that could have, that we could have had to have endured. And who knows, 45 days later, November 17th, we might have to go through it again. But having said that, I want to get more serious about the business side of the hobby, get more, sell the cards, because I can't hold on to all of these pieces of cardboard forever. So, I do appreciate you telling me all those different, the omni channels that you're talking about, the different channels that we can currently sell with and potentially in the future. And I won't say it now, but like you said, it's October 2nd. One of those people that you mentioned, one of those companies may be a potential future sponsor for my content and my podcast. So, I'm very excited. So yeah, with Mascot, it looks like it's free to use for someone like me, and I'm really excited about that because it seems like the you derive the revenue, or I'm sorry, why am I having such a hard time? You're deriving a cut from the channels and the companies, not from the consumer.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. That's not to say that we wouldn't also develop paid features for users over time, but the intent is to very much keep the features that we have now, the basic kind of management and selling, free. And so we're committed to that. We think it's a great service that we're able to kind of give away. And obviously, if something is free, you can't beat the price. We're incentivized to get as much inventory and as many people using it for obvious reasons. And so,
Yeah.
there seems to be sort of a win-win-win, a win for us, a win for the user, a win for the marketplaces and our vendors by being able to kind of get people into the ecosystem as frictionlessly as possible.
Awesome. So is this a good segue to just say, let's get to it? I'm really excited to see it because I have not signed up for any Mascot account yet. I'm like completely new to this. I thought about kind of poking and researching a little bit before, but I was like, you know what? Let me just learn directly from the the demo call.
Terrific. All right, so I'll go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to open up, just for context, open up a dev environment. So this is not a real life Mascot environment. I'm not listing anything directly for sale. It's going to a sandbox, which is a fancy word of saying a test environment. So
Got it.
I will just caveat by that. Let me open up and I'll share my screen, and then we'll pull up the Mascot dev environment.
Awesome. Thank you. And you don't need me to do anything on my end. I just follow along. And
the only requirement for you is after we get done this call, I need you to sign up for Mascot. And just all of your inventory, and I want you to simply bookmark Mascot and never ever leave Mascot.
Never ever leave. You got it. Like Taylor Swift, never ever ever. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, you have my word. I am going to sign up for it because again, it's free, and I might as well give it a shot. And I want to check this out. I'm all about technology, so.
Terrific. Okay, so here is what. When you sign up for a new account, this is the screen that you're going to first be landed into, right? So this is our collection page. Obviously, because you're a new user, you don't have anything in it. So you'll be prompted to essentially do two things. One is to add items to your collection, or the other is to import your existing eBay listings. So you have listings up on eBay, you can just, on this upper left-hand panel, just click import all. And essentially you'll be prompted to, kind of sync your inventory that's already on eBay onto Mascot.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the sync collection, just because I want to show you the ease of which you can get items into Mascot. A little context also, we partnered up with 5 of the major grading companies: PSA, Beckett, SGC, CGC, and TAG. And really what that means is by putting in for graded material a serial number associated with any of those 5 grading companies, we'll pull in any data that's stored directly on that serial number by the grading companies. In a lot of cases, that'll be kind of high-res stock images, along with kind of all of the product descriptions and the item, who the player is, and the year, and all that good stuff. Some grading companies don't have images stored, so we're only as good as the data that gets returned by the grading companies. But I'll click into Sync Collection so you can just see what that page looks like.
Love it.
All right, so this is your Sync Collection page. You'll also notice up top you can import here as well from either MySlabs or eBay. So if you have a MySlabs account, you have an eBay account, it's really as simple as just sort of importing directly. Another feature people like is just the ability to enter a page serial number. So I have a couple, I have a couple dummy serial numbers right here.
Gotcha.
So I'm just going to paste them directly here. You can do as many serial
numbers.
Oh,
wow. I love that. Okay.
You can do as many serial numbers as you want there. You can also, at the same time, let me pull my quick and dirty demo folder. You can also drag and drop images. Let's drag and drop some images that I have on my desktop right there. You'll see when you drag and drop images, it'll go down here to this your files part of it. You can also at the same time add a spreadsheet. So let's also add a spreadsheet.
I love spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets are handy. So yes. Again, just in this little in this one screen, you can add serial numbers, multiple at the same time. You could drag and drop images of scans, or you can add map fields. You can add a spreadsheet and then map the fields. I'll show you how to do that in a second. You could also just import directly from existing marketplaces. So a lot of ways to get items directly into Mascot.
Gotcha.
If you add a spreadsheet, I hope I'm not overcomplicating this for the sake of this demo, but if you add a spreadsheet, it'll be prompted to map fields, which is just sort of saying, hey, tell us what kind of items it is. These are all graded trading cards.
Right.
For the most part. So I'll just do save, because these are all mapped correctly.
Gotcha. Oh, pricing. So I did want to ask if you have something up for auction on eBay, but again, I don't really know. I haven't used MySlabs, but Shopify, I don't know if they do auctions, and all these other marketplaces you guys have coming. I don't know if they all do auctions. How does that work? Like, can you do something with eBay auctions and then not for other places, or?
Yeah, so for auctions, you can run eBay auctions directly through Mascot. eBay is the only auction platform that we have at the moment.
Okay.
So once you get your inventory into Mascot, you'll be essentially given two options. One is to create essentially a buy it now listing. The other is to create an auction, and you'll have all the customizations. You can run a 3-day, 5-day, 7-day, 10-day. You can set a custom start date, et cetera, all through Mascot.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
So once your items are in there, just simply click the sync collection.
Okay.
So there's 107 items up in the sync progress bar. You'll see that's going to start to sort of chew up this data. What it's doing right now is it's reading all the data from the grading companies, right? So by putting in serial numbers, it's just taking any data that's stored by the grading companies on that serial number and pulling it right into Mascot. We purposely added a couple errors so you can see what an error message would look like.
Okay.
In that progress bar, you might have noticed that there's some green and some blue. The green means that everything works successfully. The blue means that there's going to be something that's required for review. Review typically means that there was an issue, right? Either you couldn't read the serial number, or you uploaded the wrong, a scan that, has a back image as opposed to a front image.
Okay.
So once it's done, click Review Items.
Okay.
So there's two error messages. We weren't able to find third-party information on it, which likely means that we couldn't pick up the serial number.
Got it.
Once it's done, click Refresh.
What?
Here's all of the information that just gets pulled in.
You've got to be kidding me. So wait, who put in these listing prices and min offers and all that?
So if you see a listing price and a min offer, what it means is that someone who uploaded their spreadsheet already had those columns in it. So in the spreadsheet, you can input as much as you want. If you want to put a listing price, you want to put a minimum offer price, you want to put an auto accept price, you can put in whatever data you want in a spreadsheet and just drag it and drop it into Mascot, and whatever you have there, essentially those columns will get mapped to the columns we support in Mascot. We built it so it's pretty savvy, right? It can generally pick up what you have in your spreadsheet, and then it'll make sense of it and sort of convert it into Mascot terms.
Oh man. Okay. I'm excited. All right.
Good. So, all right. So you have items in Mascot now, right? So, few things to note. You can sort really well, right? So if you just want to say, hey, I just want to see any PSA cards that I have, you simply go to this grading company, hit PSA. Now here are just the PSA cards. You can drill that even more, right? So you can say, all right, just show me PSA basketball items.
That's my bread and butter right there.
So here's PSA basketball. You can also say, hey, just show me PSA basketball items that are a PSA 9, right? You go do all of that as well. You can also use this search bar. So if you want to type in Michael Jordan, it will only return Michael Jordan items. It could be as granular or kind of basic as you like.
Side note, I kind of want to buy those 3 cards, but okay, continue.
Well, this 84 star Jordan is one that I'd love to buy too. I think it's out of my price range. It's like a $500,000 card.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah. I'd like to just caveat again. I know it's at the top of the call, but these are not my actual inventory. Sale on eBay. These are all just sort of dev environment test dummy items that just to sort of showcase how the platform works.
No, this is awesome though.
So let's drill down into kind of what it brings back on an item specific basis, right? So it'll kind of make sense of the item description. So Michael Jordan, 84 star, PSA 9. If you want to see more, you click into this little pencil icon right here.
Got it.
Okay, so here are all the attributes that I brought in from the grading company. You can customize this however you like, right? Fully customizable. So here's all the attributes you brought in. Here's all the grading information. So it's graded, PSA 9. Here's the serial number down below. This is where we get into kind of creating marketplace listings. So in this case, unfortunately, I brought in a duplicate when it comes to the year, because it actually stored the year and stored the manufacturer and had the year and the manufacturer. So you always have to double check the listings.
I see.
I would say that.
Okay.
It gets you probably 85% of the way there. Some cases 100%, but I always kind of give the caveat that I would always double check listings prior to actually listing it. You want to make sure that they're optimized as can be.
Yeah.
And then here are the card photos directly from the grading company. So in this case, you do not have to take a scan. These are really high quality, high resolution images you can absolutely use for your listing. Of course, caveat being if there's something materially different about the stock image from your card, maybe you scratch the label, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you spill on it, you'd have to kind of caveat and say, hey, look, this is not representative of it, or upload your own images.
Gotcha. Cool.
Okay, we'll click save. So let's go ahead and actually list one of these for sale.
Yes.
Again, on a dummy demo account. So I'm not actually listing.
Putting it up. Yeah. Yes. Sounds good.
Right. All right. So all you need to do is just put in pricing information. So this, we know it sold for like 500 grand on Golden about 2 years ago. So let's put, I don't know, Danny, should we put 600 grand?
Sure. I mean, market's a little bit, yeah, sure. I was going to say it's lower, but I have no, I mean, that's a crazy beautiful card.
All right. Minimum offer 550.
Yes, let's go. Let's do it.
Auto accept 550. Why not?
Sure.
We're about to get rid.
Sure.
Then let's go ahead and do sell select. So once this is checked, hit sell selected. Yes, I want to list this for sale.
Okay.
All right. So our selling screen.
Yeah.
You'll see at the top of the page, by the way, that you get two options: fixed price or auction.
Oh, okay.
So you have to kind of back and forth between them. You can decide how you want to get this item listed for sale. Here are all the logos of the grading company, the marketplaces that we've agreed to a partnership with. Right now, eBay, MySlabs, and Shopify, if I were to configure Shopify, would work. Okay. The other ones that are coming soon are ones that are indeed coming soon.
Right.
So for the sake of this demo, let's just check off eBay and MySlabs. Okay. All I got to do is check the little box. Let's come down here. Okay, all this looks good. You can review any of your listings, any of your descriptions, anything you want to do. You can review it here. Once you're all set and everything looks good, you want to list these items for sale, simply click confirm listing. Mm-hmm. And it's going to start to kind of cycle through and actually create these listings for you.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
So you've now created listings for Shopify and eBay directly on Mascot. If you go ahead and click this, it'll bring you to the direct URL for that listing. Let me show you how to do a quick auction so you can see what that looks like as well.
Auction, yep. Thank you.
Auction author is Isaiah Thomas. Okay, so I click auctions at price.
Mm-hmm. Those two are such BFFs, by the way, right? Jordan and Isaiah Thomas. They love each other. They're so warm and cuddly.
Oh yeah, I think they are best of friends from I think when Thomas was selected to the Dream Team, in 1992. I think Jordan.
Yeah.
Thomas on that team.
Yeah, he really advocated really strongly for him. He just, they're just such, it's like Hangover, we're the three best friends,
Exactly. All right, so when you come to auction, you'll be prompted with duration, so you could select 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. Mm-hmm. You could do a custom start date, so, hey, I actually want this to start.
Oh, I like
Thursday.
that.
Do it at 6:15 p.m.
Now, my understanding is if you try to schedule a listing on eBay, again, nothing against companies, but like eBay does do, I think there's like a 10-cent schedule listing fee. But do you guys incorporate that into it, or how does that work?
Yeah, so if that's true, oops.
It could be wrong too. I mean, I haven't sold on eBay in a while either, so.
Yeah. So if that's true, so all Mascot is really doing is essentially integrating with your own environment. Okay. So if any fees that you're being assessed directly by eBay will be the fees that you're being assessed through Mascot. So Mascot's not interfering at all in any kind of your fee structures or what you're being charged by the marketplace.
Gotcha.
So there will be no impact to that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Cool. So that's sort of a brief, quick and dirty on how to use Mascot.
Wow. Okay.
One other thing I should show you too is just, again, you don't have anything directly here yet, but when an item sells, it'll go into this reports. So it'll give you essentially all of your sales, your direct P&L. If you put in your cost data directly on Mascot, It'll categorize all of your invoices, all of your any sales, any purchases you make. It'll directly kind of drop down to those reports. So at the end of the year, if your accountant is saying, "Tell me everything you did within cards within the last year," you can have sort of a quick and dirty one-stop shop where you can just print out a report for your accountant. Your accountant will love you. Your wife will probably love you too, and you could really operate your business quickly and easily directly through Mascot. I should also show you just kind of how to actually integrate your accounts, because that's quite a bit of how to do it. So you go into this little profile icon, upper right hand corner, click integrations, and it'll walk you through various steps. Obviously right now all these are fully synced up, but if this is not, essentially you'll have to complete a profile and you'll have to authorize Mascot to do it. It should be pretty easy. It should be pretty self-explanatory, but you are going to have to follow these steps when you first log on to make sure that eBay, MySlabs, and Shopify are fully connected. So here's an example for Shopify. Shopify and this dev environment is not. So you have to add this key right there. You have to put in your Shopify store name, for instance, and it'll work. So that's a little quick and dirty, and just on how to actually integrate your marketplace accounts.
Yeah, and you have my word. I will create a Mascot account, and I will kind of go through this in my content, just creating these accounts and authorizing and all that. I gotta say, like this. Again, not a partner, paid, anything like that. It just seems like a no-brainer. Just more eyeballs, right? So I don't have a MySlabs, but I can just create an account. Shopify, just create an account, just get more eyeballs on my cards. And I love the new marketplaces that are coming up. I don't know. It seems like it's a go for me. Yeah.
Love it. Oh, good. Well, as you promised at the top of the call, when you get off this, your action steps are to create an account with Mascot and to never leave Mascot. You have to bookmark this, and you have to be staring at your Mascot collection for the next 3 years.
Hotel California. I can never leave. You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. That's what it is. But no, can I ask you with the accountants? So you said P&L again. I'm guessing. I just want to confirm with you. You're talking about profits and losses, P&L, right?
Correct. Yeah. So in Mascot, in the same way how we showed you how to put in a listing price and then an offer price, for eBay and other channels, you scroll over to those columns, you'll see that there's various cost-related columns. So you can put in the cost that you paid for an item. So if you're at a trade show and you bought a card for $100, just make something up, but you bought something for $100, you can come to Mascot, add that to Mascot, add it with, hey, I paid $100 for this item. When you go to then sell it, say you sold it for $125, right? You have a $25 profit on that item, and Mascot will essentially record that automatically, put it into a report for you, and then when your accountant comes calling at the end of the year and says, what's your activity within cards? Did you make money? Did you lose money? Et cetera, you will have a very quick and dirty printout that you can give to your accountant.
Gotcha. So I need to get an accountant because I don't have one yet. I'm still not incorporated. I have no LLC. I thought about making content surrounding getting more serious at the business side and making an LLC. But yes, my wife would be very happy. I mean, I'm sure she would love to see the profits part go up. But like a lot of initial starting off businesses, to get inventory, you do have to spend money. So I love this. So the profits and losses, like the amount you bought it for, that is completely only to yourself. That's not shown anywhere, right? I mean, it makes sense.
Correct. Only for internal purposes.
Yeah.
And again, it's also good. It's a good check and balance for you, just to sort of understand, kind of how you're doing, right? And Dan, I think you're right. There's a big learning curve at times for this market. So everyone's prone to make mistakes. Believe me, I made tons of mistakes myself, but it's a good sense check to see, okay, how much you're spending, how much you're getting in return for that, time and energy and money. So even if you don't want to send to your accountant, but you just want to have it for your own head, right? So you can just kind of check on your performance and your progress. You'll be able to see that. So you can see how many items in your collection, how much you paid for the items in your collection. You sell items, what you're getting in return for selling the items. Are you making money? Are you losing money? It's a really good tool, right? It's like it's that old expression, right? What's not getting measured is not getting managed, right? So this is a good way for you to at least measure how you're doing, to keep track of how you're doing.
I think that's important. Analytics, tracking, inventory management systems. Accountants. That sounds like there's money involved for sure, but I think this is like me trying to be like, this is a hobby. It's supposed to be for fun, but if I did want to make this into a side hustle and like the business side of the hobby, it's like time to grow up and be an adult. It's like all these terms, omni-channel, inventory management, PNL, like it's I don't know. I think it's time for Denny to grow up and make this a little bit more profitable for. I just talked about myself in the third term, but yeah, time to make it more profitable for myself and my family.
Yeah, and look, even if you're not in this for money, you're not in for profits, which is a very large portion of the hobby, and that's awesome, right? At least it's a great tool for you to keep track of your collection,
Yeah.
for you to see what you have at any one time, and to be able to make sort of smart moves if and when you ever decide to sell items within it. So, and by the way, we have a lot of set collectors who use this as well, just as a lot of set collectors who actually say, hey, look, this is the first time I'm able to actually see, in a really good sort of way, exactly what items in my set I have collected and what items are left. Because you can see kind of numerically, I have, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shoot, I need 4, right? I need card number 4, right? So there's a lot of applications to it. Obviously, we did a very quick and dirty here, but there's a lot to this product that, depending on kind of how you participate in this hobby, in this market, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of good applications for various different types of people.
Awesome. So one final question I have, again, this is not so much about me as a consumer, and you and I, we did not talk prior to this other than we were on a similar pod at the same time, but I did want to ask you, you have some integration happening with card shows, is that right? I mean, that sounds really cool, but it hasn't happened yet, right?
Yeah, correct. So we partnered up with the Philly Show. The Philly Show is one of the longest running regional card shows, and it's not actually in Philadelphia; it's outside of Philadelphia.
Okay.
So we partnered up with them for their show in December, which is in a couple months from the time of recording. And essentially, the application here is that dealers who set up at the shows can upload their inventory to Mascot in advance of the show. When you actually attend the show as an attendee, and you're saying, "Hey, I'm looking to add to my PC, or I'm looking for something specific," you'll be able to go into Mascot and essentially type in what you're looking for, and it'll tell you, okay, dealer number, dealer at table 17 has this item that you're looking for, which means, right, if you only have a finite amount of time to spend on the show, just go to table 17, talk to that dealer, they have something you're looking for. So it'll enhance, the ability for people to really find items at a show. I think a lot of people were at the National, and obviously it's an overwhelming experience. There's 4,000 tables, and everyone has a lot of inventory available for sale, and it's hard to navigate. So this will be a very easy way for people to, when they're coming to a card show, with the ones they're integrated with, to be able to find items they're looking for. Dealers like it because they're able to hopefully make more sales, because warmer leads, warmer conversions, and there's going to be contact information where people, even if you can't attend the show at some point, you can still reach out to the dealer specifically, say, hey, to the Philly Show, if you still have it available after the show, I'd love to get in touch with you because I'm looking for something like this or something similar. Maybe you have it, right? So it's a really good way to maximize people's time at the show and to really maximize the experience for dealers. They're spending a lot of money to set up and travel and hotels and food and staff and all that good stuff. They also have to make sure that the show makes sense for them to set up, and it's a good way for them to expand their reach.
That's actually really smart. So people who are not attending the show can check out inventory as well. That's actually
that is the vision for it. Obviously, we're building it for the Philly Show in December, so perhaps not every single feature and functionality of it will be available, although will be. But certainly in the future, as we bring this to more and more shows, that certainly is an intention, is to, hey, you can't make it to Philly. You're in Virginia, right? And maybe you have family obligations, or maybe it's a lot of money, or you just went to a show last weekend, what have you. There's a lot of shows all across the country every single weekend now, it seems.
Yeah.
So, but people are still curious what's available for sale, the show floor, what these are bringing, what's available for sale. And so this is a good way for them to be able to sort of have a digital card show experience where at least they can see, what's available to trade or what's available for sale.
This is so fantastic. Thank you. I'm really excited about leveraging technology to, really like this inventory management. So thank you. It is 12:33. We were slated to go to 12:30, so I'm going to let you go. Time is money, and that's why I think this is great, because it's going to make things a lot quicker. It's my lunchtime, your lunchtime. So if you can give me a virtual fist pound right here, I don't know if you can see my hand right here. Yep, there we go. Virtual fist pound. Ezra, you were excellent. I'm gonna see if I can try to make this into a podcast episode or something like that. But yeah, really appreciate your time, and best of luck with Mascot and all that, and we'll
Thanks,
be in
Danny.
touch.
Thank you for the time as well, and I will see you sign up for Mascot in the next 2 minutes. Thank you as always.
I gotta eat something. All right, take care.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, bye. I'll give it 5 stars. Oh, how's the audio and video? Yeah, 5 stars. It's really good.